S.M.I.L.E Youth Lounge, a space where young minds come together to learn, grow, and connect.
We dive into topics that actually matter, from relationship
To money,
movies,
mental health,
leadership,
business,
and career goals. You name it, we talk about it.
and the best part, we keep it real and interactive.
And maybe you should expect giveaway, teasers, and a whole lot of vibes.
So if you're ready to level up, connect with like-minded people, and get insights that actually matter, hit the subscribe button now. Hello, beautiful people. You're welcome to S.M.I.L.E Youth Lounge, where we have honest conversations that shape the future of young people in our society today. And a lot of young people are busy but not productive. Some of them are active but not advancing in life. So today, we're going to be talking about priority. Now, not as a motivational word, but as a skill, a life skill that every young person must have. And I remain your beautiful host, Ruth Abimbola. As you all know, I won't be doing this alone. As usual, I'm going to be having guests join me on this particular episode. So without further ado, let's get straight into this episode of Youth Lounge. So our first guest today is Emmanuel Adejare, a recent first-class graduate of economics from the University of Lagos, Unilag. All the Unilag audience in the building or at home right now watching, we have a representative from your school on the show today. So Emmanuel is also the recipient of the Most Improved Student Award, which comes with a 1 million naira cash prize. And that's really commendable if you agree with me. He is a proud scholarship beneficiary of S.M.I.L.E and represents the kind growth, resilience, and excellence we celebrate in our community today. Our second guest is Mrs. Ajibola Babalola, a proud member of the S.M.I.L.E family. She's also a first-class graduate. This episode is about to be very, very hot because we have first-class graduates in the house, not one, but two. And stick around. By the end of this episode, you find out another first-class graduate. But let's continue. So through her work, she has supported many young people in building clarity, structure, and discipline required for career growth and the long-term impact. Emmanuel and Mrs. Babalola, we are delighted to have you both on the show today on this episode of S.M.I.L.E Youth Lounge. Welcome to S.M.I.L.E Youth Lounge. How do you feel being here today?
Okay, thanks for having me. I'm very happy to be here. It's an honor to be on this Youth Lounge. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Babalola, how do you
I
feel?
feel cool. It's good to be back home.
Good to be back home. She's home. S.M.I.L.E is home. So I want to start with Emmanuel. Congratulations once again on, graduating with a first-class degree. It's not easy. And you received a 1 million naira cash prize along with the award for Most Improved Student. And I would like to say that is truly remarkable. It is really impressive. It is encouraging for young people watching us at home today. So we all know that there was a time you almost gave up on your academics, right? Take us back to that moment. What made you decide to pursue your academic goals again instead of giving up?
Well, there was a time I had to have this very honest conversation with myself, right? And it felt like I knew not continuing or stopping was not about the circumstances that were surrounding me at that time, even though there were a few.
Right.
But then I realized that it was majorly about fear and distraction. So I asked myself a particular question, just one question. And the question was, would I be happy or would I respect that version of me that gives up, say, in 5 years' time? And the honest answer was no. There was no way I would be happy. So I knew I had to go back. And also, I then realized that education for me was not about the certificate that I'll get. I think it was more about the discipline. It was more about the structure. And of course, reminding myself that I have that ability to finish whatever it is I have started. So I think that decision was like the very first serious priority decision I made as an adult. And the it forms the foundation of everything that followed suit. That single decision, it changed everything. So, yeah, I'm here.
Wow, thank you so much for that response. What I could deduce from Emmanuel's response to that question is the fact that most young people give up due to fear. And he was able to overcome that fear, and he was able to focus on the long-term goal that comes after getting that certificate. So if you're taking a decision, you want to give up on your goal just because you are scared, this is a sign not to give up, because at the end of the day, Emmanuel graduated with a first class degree. So, Mrs. Babalola, when you hear the word priority, what does it mean to you personally?
Personally, priority means being intentional about what you put in and allocate your time, your efforts, and your energy in. So that particular thing that you focus on, that goal, that responsibility, that particular thing you make more important at the moment, and at the very particular season of your life, that's priority. So what are you giving your energy to? What are you allocating your time to? That thing that takes the utmost priority first in your timeline is your priority, and it differs for different people with different priorities.
Exactly. It is, should I say, relative or subjective to people. But according to Mrs. Babalala, priority is something that is important to you, something that you place in order of priority. So back to Emmanuel, while you were in school, what were the top 3 priorities that you had as a student and as a young individual?
Okay, if I'm going to be very honest with myself and of course with you and everybody watching, I think the first was, and for everyone that knows me back in school, I had to make first class, whether or not the devil likes it, right? And
If you
whether or
knew
not,
Emmanuel back in school, please drop a comment.
yeah,
Attest to this
for
fact.
it was part of the congratulatory message I got, and there was a particular one that really got me theory. So the first class was when it's time for academics, we are doing academics, right? And another thing, I'm not gonna lie, is my building my business capacity. I run a business, so
Right.
that business also has to grow because that was what was feeding me in school, and you know, man must work autonomous consumption. So there was that, and another one, last but not the least, was also very important to me was building my own capacity, building mental strength, mental
Right.
capacity, and building emotional intelligence. Also, so those were like the top 3 for me, and every other thing just flushes out from those 3.
That's really insightful and beautiful to hear. So back to Miss Babalola. What areas do you think is a priority that young people neglect when setting their priorities? What areas do you think young people neglect when setting their priorities in life?
Okay, so I think one of the areas they neglect is their personal development. They don't prepare, they don't build capacity. They believe when you get to a particular stage in life, you get things automatically. No, you only get things you are prepared for, and that's the aspect of preparedness. So you have to prepare. How prepared are you? So young people often, they want it quick. So that preparation, you have to then the aspect of stamina, building your mental and emotional stamina, because sincerely, life is not a bed of roses.
Right.
In as much as you have something as your priority, doesn't mean it will get to you and it will come to you. You have to pursue it with diligence and consistency. So the ability to build stamina, the ability to prepare for success, I think is one of the things young people are neglecting, because now we have a lot of get quick rich syndrome. Everybody's doing a particular thing to get money. I saw somewhere, someone said, I'm looking for a God-fearing Yahoo boy, and a police officer said he's in the cell.
You cannot find
So how prepared are you for that future? And are you building stamina? Because life won't give it to you on a bed of roses.
Right. So when setting your priorities in life as a young person, build stamina. Don't neglect the fact that you need to build stamina, according to Mrs. Ajibola. Your priorities today determine your position tomorrow. So back to you, Emmanuel. You mentioned running a business while in school, and we all know that you graduated with a first-class degree as well. How were you able to balance, aiming to become a first-class student, a first-class graduate, and running a business successfully? You did not just run the business, you were able to run the business successfully. How were you able to balance that and structure your day?
Okay, I think for that, one thing that is very critical is knowing what matters in the long run. Uh, Even though the money that comes from the business is also very good, I'm not going to lie, the education matters in the long run.
Right.
So I knew that when it's time for, I mean, it's all about structure, right? When it's time for academics, nothing from business is coming, or that will take my time. And when it's time for business, it has to be a time when academic can wait. I mean, from the beginning of the semester, I know I have enough time to attend to business, right? And when the time comes for exams and all, there's no amount of money you can offer. It's either you wait or you allow me send someone else. So it's all about the structure. And another thing is communication, and you have to communicate with your clients. And interestingly, or lucky enough for me, I think I have these understanding clients. It matters, and I think it's one of two things. It's either I am too good for them to leave me and patronize another person, or it's out of pity. It's one of the two. Because most of the time when I get calls for business and I tell them that, you know what, I'm in school and right now I'm in class. If you can wait, or maybe I'm preparing for exams and my exams is in 2 weeks, I won't be able to attend to this. So if you can wait, once I'm done, I'll come to you. And if you can't wait, I can send someone. Most of the time, I always say, "Oh, you are in school. Wow, what course are you doing? Economics. Wow, and you're doing electricals. Wow, you are doing solar. You know what? I'll wait for you." And it just gives me that peace of mind that yes, the
People
whole
are
exam
behind you,
rigor,
supporting
the whole
you.
exam rigor is there. But then when I'm done, I have this money I can make, so
Right.
that allows me to focus with this happiness at the back of my mind. So it's more about structure and communication, and that really worked.
Right. You mentioned the fact that it's either they are pitying you or you are too good. I would like to say that I think it's because you are too good. Because most people, even if you are not good, nobody wants to waste their money on anybody or on
Right.
any product, right?
Right.
So if you're not good and if you're not worth their time or their money, whether you're writing an exam or not, Nigerians don't have that kind of patience. It's none of their business. They will look for someone else that can do the job.
Yeah, I guess
So I
I'm too
like to
good.
commend the fact that I think you are too good. Right. So back to Mrs. Babalola. Do you think changing priorities is a sign of growth or instability? When somebody keeps changing their priority, maybe, okay, they're like, I'll do this thing now. And in the next few minutes, they say, oh, no, let me attend to this first. Do you think it's a sign of, oh, this person is growing or they're just unstable?
Okay, so there are two ways to look at it. So when you have per second changes, that is instability, like every second.
Yeah.
But when it comes to changes that require you to sit back and ask yourself, because we're evolving,
Right.
the season of your life where you are is not the same as mine.
Right.
So because I'm in a particular season, what my priority is different.
Right.
So we evolve. And when you evolve, you see a part of you that you did not see exist before. Now you are into solar. Tomorrow you discover that you can start even selling products along that line. So it's when you evolve in terms of wisdom, knowledge, the knowledge you have about yourself and your new ability.
Right.
Then you now set priority along that line. For example, as a lady, when you are married, your priority might be different. You want to have a child, you want to settle, make your home stable. Career might just be like second priority. After a particular time, maybe 2 years, you want to go back to your career. So it evolves with your capacity, it evolves with the season of your life, and it also evolves with the knowledge you've been able to acquire.
Right.
So it's not a sign of instability, it's a sign of growth if you are intentional about it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. If it's not per second, according to what you said, then it is growth because we evolve as individuals. So you're evolving, your priorities are changing. But if you are doing it per second, this minute you are doing this one, the next minute you're saying, oh, let me do this one, let me do that one, then it might be a sign of instability that you need to look into as a young person. Thank you so much for that wonderful response, Mrs. Babalola. So back to Emmanuel. What role would you say discipline played in you graduating with a first class? Would you say you were very, very key on discipline? Take us through that.
Okay. I think that discipline is everything, right? Talent is key, right? And also, but then motivation is temporary, but discipline is structural.
Right.
Discipline is what will make you want to read, even if you don't want
You
to.
don't feel the
Yeah, you don't feel like reading, but
hurt
you
to
have to read
yeah.
because there's something you are chasing. And there's this adage that my people always say that if you see someone who is running, say that the person is chasing something or is being chased by
By
something.
something.
Shaded. So, and if you look at the trajectory of my results, you would not necessarily see a brilliant boy. I'm not that top there when you're talking academics, but then discipline was key. I remember a time I traveled to Port Harcourt to work, and it was a 3-day journey. Port Harcourt is like 13 to 14 hours, right? So I got there that day. I finished the job that day. I rested the next day. Then I came back to Lagos the third day. So I got to Lagos around 11:30, but I got to Unilag around say 12. And I'm after greeting my people, having my bath. So the next thing I did, Biobaku boys. If you know Biobaku, there's a reading room there. So I took my book. I went straight to the reading room to read. And my friends were like, "You just got back from Port Harcourt. So what are you doing?" I was chasing something. And that was the role of discipline. Discipline will tell you, read when you need to read. It helped me not to overspend. And I mean, discipline is just everything. So that was the role of discipline in whatever it is you do.
Right. So you mentioned one Yoruba added that if something is not chasing you, then you are chasing something. In this case, and you said that you weren't nobody would have deduced the fact that you will be a first class graduate because it wasn't looking that way before. So but you knew what was chasing you or what you were chasing. And that shows discipline, to be very honest. It shows determination as well, aside discipline, because for somebody that traveled, that did that long travel, you said 13 hours.
Yeah.
That's a long, 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 long,
More
long,
than
long,
half of
long.
a day.
Do you get? So getting back to this to school or to your hostel and still wanting to do something, still wanting to read, study for your exam, it shows determination and it really shows discipline. And if you're at home and you're not disciplined about your goals or what you want, I hope that with Emmanuel's story, you've been able to see for yourself that something is not just going to drop on your lap. Like life is not a bed of roses. If you want something, you have to go for that thing. And I believe that Emmanuel is enough motivation for you. Discipline is simply prioritizing what you want most over what you want now. So back to Mrs. Babalola. What would you say to a young person that says, "I'm still young, I'll figure it out later, I still have time"? I feel that this particular "I'm still young" and words like that, phrases like that are common with Gen Zs, the young generation. They always feel, especially the very, very young one, like in their early 20s, they feel like they still have time on their hands. They can relax and then chase bigger things later. What would you say to people like this that feel like they are still young, they'll still achieve their goals, and they can always do things later?
You see, the word later is deceitful because when you think you have the whole time, you might just wake up to be 40. Yes, you might be wake up. You just
Right.
wake up and you discover you're 40 years old. So I usually tell young people, start now to figure your life. Like figure it out now.
Right.
This is a time for you to be self-aware. So what are my strengths? What am I good at? How can I tailor my strengths into something productive? This is the time.
This is
The time
time.
where you have to be intentional. Okay, what are my goals? What do I want to achieve in various areas of my life? You see, the people we celebrate today, they didn't start today. They started when they were very
A
young.
long time ago.
And they were consistent. They
Right.
consistently built to this level. So figure it out. Figure yourself out. Then build values. Are you a person? What are your core values? What are the things? Because at the end of the day, what you prioritize will align with your values.
Yeah.
It will align with your purpose. It will align with your goal. So, for example, if there's a job, if there's a role that requires me to be an accountant, I will not pick it because I don't have the skill and I did not build capacity in that level. So when you build your capacity now, when you start figuring out yourself, it will help you at the long run to prioritize what you'll be and even how you align all those goals into a bigger picture.
Right.
Summarily, identify your strengths, know yourself, build values, and see. Don't wait. If you snooze, you will lose. You just wake up to be 60 years old and you be a grandpa.
If you snooze, you lose. Man, this is so scary actually. Because time waits for nobody, to be very honest. So why postpone things? Why say I'll do things later when you can just start doing them now? And when you're like 60, like Mrs. Ajibola said, you can now be resting. You're still young. Why are you resting? Resting for what?
Even
For who?
60-year-olds they are still grinding.
Exactly. Some of them are even still working, right? So Gen Z's in the house. Stop saying that you are still young. Young people, even these days, are doing so many wonderful things. You hear stories of, oh, this person built this system today, this person did this today, this person did that tomorrow. And they are young people. When you hear their age, is almost unrealistic, right? So thank you so much for sharing that with us. As a young person, time waits for nobody. Build value, build things now so that you can begin to enjoy in the future, right? So to both of you, I'd like you to complete this sentence. Priority to me means, Emmanuel, what does it mean to you?
It means chasing that thing that is too important for you to lose.
So, Miss Ajibola, I know you mentioned yours earlier, but I want you to it was supposed to be in one sentence, so in one word. But I think I like a sentence. So let's do one sentence.
Yes, okay, so priority to me means having 100% of every season of my life. So at this season, I have priorities. I have things that are important to me and I want to absorb it 100%. So I don't want to get to the afternoon season and regret that I should have prioritized certain things in the morning of my life,
Wow.
So as I'm here, what are my priorities in this season of my life? Then I want to grab everything so I don't have regrets at the end of the day.
Wow. Successful people don't have more time. They have clearer priorities. Thank you so much, Mrs. Ajibola and Emmanuel Adejare, the first class graduate in the building. So yes, I said at the beginning of this episode that you'll find out who the other first class graduate is. Something is very, very interesting on this particular episode because we have not one, not two, but 3 first class graduates in the building. Don't play with S.M.I.L.E. Oh.
If you want to have first class,
producing, powerful people in the industry, in every industry, educational industry, or media, or finance. So, I mean, Emmanuel is here, a first-class graduate. Mrs. Ajibola is here, a first-class graduate. And I, myself, your beautiful host, is also a first-class graduate. Oh, my God. It's not easy. Clack it.
clack it.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure doing this with you. I enjoyed the conversation. Thank you for sharing your experiences and all of these insights with us today. And I hope that you at home watching us have been able to learn a thing or two, because that is the whole essence of this platform, this initiative, to have honest conversations that shape the future of young people, that helps with your development as a young individual in the society. So thank you for joining us once again today. And we hope, in fact, it's not a matter of being hopeful. I believe that you've been able to learn something in this particular episode. So if you've learned a thing or two, don't forget to share this episode, like it, leave your comments, tell us what you've learned from this episode. Me personally, I learned that you should do away with fear. As a young individual that is trying to achieve anything, you need to seek clarity. Start now. According to what Mrs. Ajibola said, prioritize, seek clarity as a young person. There's no need to wait. Time waits for nobody. Don't sit down and say, I'll do this thing later. And before you know, you are 40, you are 60, like Mrs. Ajibola said, right? Be determined like Emmanuel. Emmanuel was determined. He didn't leave his business to suffer because of his academics, and he did not leave his academics to suffer because of his business. He was able to be disciplined and manage both at the same time. And you can see where it has led him. He's making cool money, and he also graduated with a first-class graduate. So you want to be like Emmanuel today. Thank you so much once again for joining us. My name is Ruth Abimbola, your beautiful host, and I will see you some other time. Remember, this is S.M.I.L.E Youth Lounge, a space where we have honest conversations that shape the future of young people in our society. Until next time, stay focused.